George P. Bush is running in Texas for Attorney General against Ken Paxton. Now, George P. Bush aims to be a politician based on his last name. That's why you know who he is. He was significant as soon as I said his last name. That said, he really does seem to be running from that last name and from the massive, incredibly successful Republican political dynasty that he is a part of. I want to show you a bit of, I believe this is one of his ads where he talks not about that dynasty, but about the current standard bearer for the Republican Party.
I will not only promote the America First doctrine and principles that were so successful during the Trump days, but I'll do it without the baggage. And I'll actually win in the courthouse.
Ken Paxton has been a very, very good Republican Attorney General of Texas. He's been a pro-Trump Republican for the duration. You're running against him. There are some who may say, how come he wants to unseat a pro-Trump Republican Attorney General in Texas?
Well, to be clear, I actually endorsed Trump before Ken Paxton did. I was one of the first to come out here in Texas, and when Bush's and Trump's come together, good things happen. But in terms of the allegations that are brought against Ken Paxton are very damaging. These aren't career staffers that are bringing them. These are his top 8 lieutenants under a Texas Whistleblower Act claim, and now the FBI is investigating the allegations of corruption and bribery.
Okay, 2 super quick thoughts. One, I'm not gonna say what portion of what he just said, but I never wanna hear it again, literally in my entire life. The second is, damn, that dude looks like Jeb. He looks and smiles just like Jeb, and the last name might help you. I can't imagine any of the other stuff that comes with being a Bush is gonna help him. That dude is a tan, skinny Jeb. Both improvements, but that is just a Jeb. Anyway, he was just talking about how pro-Trump he is, and literally, like that is how you talk about your qualifications. Hey, you say you're pro-Trump, but he was pro-Trump. He's always been pro-Trump. That's it. That's all it is. What does that mean? I don't know. You like Trump? What does that mean about infrastructure, reproductive rights, immigration? I don't know. It just means you like Trump. But man, he was nothing about George W., George H.W. Like, dude was the governor of that state. 2 presidents are in his family line. But no, it's all about the guy who lost re-election, who tried to overthrow the government and failed and couldn't even maintain a blog for a month.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to try to make Donald Trump your dad? He's a bad dad. Like, he's like demonstrably not a good father. So why would you try to ingratiate yourself to him in that sort of way? Why would you turn your back on your family, which is also not a good family, and be like, I reject this bad family for this even worse family. It's so strange to me, and I'm sorry in advance, but George P. Bush, the P tape. I'm just asking questions. And my final thought on that is, look, I am glad we have P over here to dunk on. The bad lighting in that clip had extreme please clap vibes to me.
Oh wow, he's another guy who has daddy issues, but his are a little bit different because, I think one of the things we have to consider about these people is that while the rest of us say, let the best man win, these folks say, let the worst man win. And the reason he's willing to usurp the Bush dynasty and prostrate before the Donald Trumps idiocy, yes, but there's still power. And it's because of the power, because they go wherever the power is. No matter how brutish their leader is, they will follow them. And so we need to really just kind of cut to our analysis of the Republican Party and understand that they are actively seeking the worst man. They're in a downward spiral, and it's taking them to Donald Trump, and they haven't yet found anyone who's worse than Donald Trump. And until they do, they're going to continue to worship Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And Ben, just to add to what you were saying, the thing, I think maybe Donald Trump's power comes from the fact that there's nobody else. Who is the future of the Republican Party? Like there's nobody that comes close to how many people love him.
Steve Bannon's hoping it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, but that's a whole other conversation.
I think that might be the next one. Now, really fast, just to continue the, you say you're pro-Trump, but he pro-Trump level of, like, that's where the party's at. This party's been around for a couple hundred years. That's the level of its intellectual rigor. This is a bit of apparently actual George P. Bush swag. We're gonna go to this tweet. It's a beer koozie that says George P. Bush for Attorney General, and on the back, it's a picture of him and Donald Trump. And Trump is saying, this is the only Bush that likes me. This is the Bush that got it right. I like him. That's an endorsement that he had printed at, he paid to have, like, that's the best endorsement he's gotten from this man. And he will throw his entire family under a Texas train for the man who says, I like him.
Okay, but this is the only Bush that likes me after an election where women roundly rejected him. It's just, I'm sorry, a late night joke writer.
Couldn't have written it.
George P. is the only Bush that likes Donald Trump, and people would be like, that is so clever and mean, because it would be true. And I apologize for the dirty joke, but it was there. It's right there.
It's right in your face.
Yes.
Don't worry, Saturday Night Live will have it tomorrow. I guarantee you they're gonna do some iteration of that tomorrow. The other thing is, why is he giving them a little red book from Miles? Like, that looks like Miles' little red book. And no offense to Miles, right? Because we obviously know the difference here. But it just really shows you the level of commitment that Republicans absolutely have to their subservience to Donald Trump. There's no level, we keep asking the wrong questions, and I'm talking about me particularly, because I kept asking, how is it that Ted Cruz could hear Donald Trump talk about his wife and then turn around and make phone calls for Donald Trump? That's because they have a negative, their thinking is, this guy is the worst of the worst, so I need to align with him because he's gonna protect me. And that's their entire worldview. That's how they're configuring their relationship with Donald Trump. And that's why they're only scared of Donald Trump in so much that he can actually help them get to their goals.
Yeah, it's so sad. I get it. You've imagined that you have some political career, you have these ambitions, you don't wanna stop for 20 years. Not everybody's gonna do what Paul Ryan is trying to do, but like, when I try to think of like politicians that I can think of that I would say that I like in a general sense, I agree with, but like I can't imagine like having as my Twitter bio like a quote from Representative Ocasio-Cortez. It says, John's the only Iderola that gets me. His brothers suck, he's fine. And I'm like, no, they're like, just watch my show because she said my brother's like, but I'm okay.
Oh,
like,
John, the family reunion, like they can't possibly have family reunions in the Bush family. No.
Oh God, it's so embarrassing.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.